Hello, my name is Murphy Tiglar. I'm a product manager at AWS Marketplace. Today, we're going to be talking about how to use APIs to streamline your product approval in AWS Marketplace for your organization. I'm joined here today by Praveen and Kevin. I'll let them introduce themselves. Praveen?
Hi, my name is Praveen Nuthulapati. I'm a software development manager with AWS Marketplace. Over to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Praveen. Kevin Garcia, engineering vice president, focused on specifically AWS with Presidio.
Thanks. We are excited to chat with you all today about how to streamline product approval. So let's go ahead and jump in. So, what are you going to be learning today? We are going to give you a marketplace overview, including an introduction to Private Marketplace. Then we're going to talk about the APIs that are available for managing your Private Marketplace. Then we'll give you a demo of the APIs. Kevin from Presidio will then show you how they are using the APIs to streamline product approval, including a demo, and then we'll do some Q&A. So let's jump in and talk about what is AWS Marketplace. AWS Marketplace is a catalog that allows you to find, buy, deploy, and manage third-party software. We have over 8,000 listings and 1,600 different vendors. Some of our different product categories from our 50 different categories include infrastructure, business applications, professional services, machine learning. We have tons of different products that make it easy for you to find solutions to help with your innovation. And our catalog is always growing and evolving. Let's talk about what AWS Private Marketplace is. Private Marketplace is a feature within AWS Marketplace that allows you to curate a catalog of pre-approved products for your users. This helps ensure that your users are using products that are approved for their needs and can comply with your procurement policies. You're also able to update the Private Marketplace branding, such as logo, color, and messaging. This makes it really clear for your users that they're in a catalog that's created for them. You're also able to create different catalogs of approved products based on your account structure in AWS. So for example, if you have a team or business unit in an AWS account or set of accounts, you're able to create a set of pre-approved products for their use. This really allows you to slice and dice and ensure that you have the right products available for your team so they can quickly get moving on Marketplace. And finally, we have APIs that allow you to connect with your approval or ticketing system and help ensure programmatic management of your private marketplace. And that's really going to be the focus of today's conversation, is how you can programmatically customize and manage these private marketplace catalogs for your users. So governance within AWS Marketplace. So when we're talking about the who, and that's who is using AWS Marketplace, that's really controlled by your IAM permissions. So your AWS Identity and Access Management permissions. Those allow you to control who can purchase and who can be an administrator within AWS Marketplace. Our IAM permissions work hand in hand with Private Marketplace. So Private Marketplace is the what. It's what products within the AWS Marketplace catalog can be approved and used by your users. So when we're talking about the who, let's dig into the different personas for Marketplace and Private Marketplace. So first we have our creator. And so this is the individual that creates the private marketplace for the organization. This is a one-time step where you use your management account to create the private marketplace for the entire AWS organization. Once you create a private marketplace for your organization, you can have one or more administrators create catalogs for your users. These administrators, again, are determined by your IAM permissions. The administrators can add and remove products from your private marketplace catalog. They also can administer the visual profile and settings. Again, that includes your logo, branding, and messaging. And finally, we have our cloud builder. So that's your user within Private Marketplace. That is your business application user, your engineer, the ones that are going in and subscribing to the products and using them within your cloud environment. For today's conversation, we're really going to be focused on you as the administrator and how you can add and remove products and create these catalogs of approved AWS Marketplace products for your cloud builders, aka your users. So let's introduce some terms for Private Marketplace for you as the administrator. So there's 3 terms that are key for understanding how you can create a private marketplace. First, we have our experience. So this is what your users see when they log into AWS Marketplace. Once your user has a private marketplace experience, this is the list of approved products and the branding that is associated to the experience. So they'd log in, and you'll see this here in a minute. Praveen's going to walk us through it. They'll log in, they'll see that list of approved products, and they'll see those branding. It's really clear to them, all right, I'm in a catalog that's approved for my use. Next, we have account groups. So an account group is one or more AWS accounts that are associated to an experience. So this is where you have flexibility in who gets what set of approved products and branding, aka experience. So you have your private marketplace experience and you have your account group. Once they're associated, you have a private marketplace catalog. So now as a user within an account group, I log into AWS, I go to the marketplace website, and I can see that list of approved products and the branding created by my administrator. I'm going to pass it over to Praveen, and he's going to walk you through some of the different elements of the API as well as a demo.
Hello, my name is Praveen, and I'm the Software Development Manager for AWS Marketplace. In the next section of this presentation, I will show you how to programmatically manage your private marketplace catalogs, and then we will close out hearing from our AWS customer Presidio on how they enable their customers with the use of the private marketplace APIs. Private marketplace APIs will provide customers the ability to programmatically manage their experience and one or more associated account groups within their private marketplace catalog. This will remove the need for blanket security controls for procurement within their private marketplace. This will also allow integration within your own organization's existing software procurement process and systems. In addition, customers will be able to enable their employees, referred to as end users, to continue to use their known processes within their organization and successfully procure software within AWS Marketplace. Lastly, with APIs, customers can also add and remove products from the private marketplace in bulk. Next, we will see the order of actions that a private marketplace administrator will take to manage the list of products and associated account groups within their private marketplace catalog. Based on the constructs or terms that Murphy has introduced earlier in the presentation, the administrator will create an experience, which is a list of approved products that are vetted for their users to use in their AWS private marketplace, as well as the branding of the private marketplace. Then they can actually customize the branding of AWS Marketplace so that when their users access AWS Marketplace, they will see their organization's title, description, and color scheme to easily identify that the users are operating in a governed environment. Lastly, the admin will add the accounts of the users that will be governed by that particular specific experience. And once a private marketplace experience is set up, admin can manage the list of products, branding, and users associated within that experience in the future. Next, I'll introduce a few technical constructs that APIs introduce to programmatically perform the actions that we have spoken about right now. So we introduce a few constructs. The first one is called an entity. An entity is a construct where for each action that the customer wishes to perform within their private marketplace. The second construct is a change type. A change type defines what type of change needs to be made on the entity. So please take a few seconds to identify the entities presented in this visualization. Yes, that's right. We're looking at 3 entities. So in order to create a private marketplace via APIs, first, a procurement experience is created. As part of the procurement experience, there are 3 entities. The first one is the experience entity. The second is the procurement policy entity. And then the third is the branding settings entity. So as we heard earlier in the presentation, an experience is a collection of products as well as the branding that is associated. An experience entity will provide the ability to curate the list of products and customize the branding. In order to be able to curate an approved list of products within an experience, there is an entity called procurement policy. And in order to add or remove these approved products, the change type allow product procurement is used. In order to change the branding settings entity will be modified, and the change type used is update branding settings. In order to add users within the private marketplace and associate them to an experience, we will be changing the experience entity, and the specific change types are associate audience and disassociate audience. Once a private marketplace is created, any of these entities can then be further updated with their respective change types, such as update experience, update procurement policy, and update branding settings. Next, we will dive into a few of the details and specifics of what the API provides. The API provides the ability to create the private marketplace catalogs, as we have seen in the previous slide, which includes the experience and the account groups. It also provides the ability to view approved products. It provides the ability to add and remove the approved products within the private marketplace. And also, it provides the ability to adjust branding settings. All these APIs and the available calls within the API can be used to integrate with existing systems such as ServiceNow, Jira, or your own internal systems. And the API calls are actually available similar to AWS APIs in the form of SDKs and tools, not limited to HTTPS, in AWS CLI, or your preferred programming language, Java, Node.js, .NET. The ability to manage the private marketplace via APIs is available through 2 specific APIs. The first one is the catalog API. So the catalog API will provide the calls to create and manage the private marketplace using change sets and corresponding change types. So let me introduce a new term, change set. A change set is any action that can be performed within the API. So earlier, as we have seen, the entities and the corresponding changes on the entities will be performed as a change set within the API. And we will see more of this in detail as we go about in the demo. The second API that the customer will need to use is the Discovery API. The Discovery API provides the ability to search and find products within AWS Marketplace. And as part of this presentation and demo, we will be focusing on the operations within the catalog API. Next, we will see the API in action via a live demo. In this demo, I'll be creating a private marketplace. I'll be updating the branding settings. I'll be associating users, as well as I'll be updating the private marketplace to either enable or disable within the within AWS Marketplace. As part of this API demo, I'll be using the Postman tool to make the calls that are needed to manage the private marketplace. And you can also see a browser window, which is set up on auto refresh, so that as I make these API calls and as I change my private marketplace, I can see the changes reflected within the user experience in AWS Marketplace. So within Postman, I have created a set of APIs changes that need to be made. So for each of the calls, you will see a HTTP action, either a post or a GET or a patch, and the specific request body that needs to be sent as part of this API call in order to perform the operation. The first step that we're going to do is create an experience. As part of creating an experience, like changing any entity, we call it Chainset. And then we use the create experience change type in order to be able to create a private marketplace experience. I'll go ahead and hit send. Now, I have a Chainset ID that is returned to me. I can use this Chainset ID to see the status of this Chainset and confirm that the change that I've performed, which in this case is create experience, has been successfully made. So in order to see the status of a Chainset, I use the describe Chainset operation. And as you can see here, the status of the Chainset is succeeded. That means I'm able to successfully create an experience. I can also list my entities, specifically the experience entity, to see the experience entity that I've just created. Now, for demo purposes, I'll be using the experience ID identifier, and I'll be setting that as a global variable within Postman so that my subsequent calls will be associated with the experience that I've created. And I do this by setting up a global variable within Postman. And with this change, all my subsequent calls will use this specific experience ID. The next step is to create a procurement policy. The procurement policy encapsulates the list of products that are allowed within the experience. So again, I perform this as a change set. The change type is create procurement policy. And then I provide the details. I provide a name for my procurement policy this time. And then I'm associating that with an experience ID. Once I perform this operation, again, I get a change set ID back. And I can use this change set ID to be able to describe the change set and see the status of this operation. And as you can see here, this change set is in state applying. So I'll wait a few more seconds, and then I describe the change set again, and I should now see my change set complete. So when I see the status succeeded, now I can ensure that my create procurement policy is a success. I can also list my entities with the procurement policy, and I should be able to see the new procurement policy that has just been created. As a next step, I'll create my branding settings. Again, you guessed it right. I use a change set operation with the specific change type, create branding settings, and I provide a name, I provide specific title and description, and then the custom branding that I wish. And as you can see, this branding settings is associated with the experience ID that I previously created, and I perform this action. So as the change set is in progress, I'll skip describing the change set. So I'll go to the next action, which is adding a list of products within my procurement policy. I do that by using the change type allow product procurement, and I provide a list of products that I'd like to add within my private marketplace. So the product ID here is, I use Discovery API to get the product ID that is used within the allow product procurement. And like our previous calls, I get a change set ID back, and I can describe my procurement policy entity to see that this new product has been added within my procurement policy. So as you can see, I see the product ID that I wish to add has been added to my procurement policy. And this will effectively use my product within the experience that I created. The next step is to associate users. I do a change set of change type associate audience, and I provide the AWS account ID of the account that I wish to manage within my private marketplace. And after I make the call, this particular account would be associated with my private marketplace. So after the account is associated, as you can see, the specific branding settings have been applied to my AWS Marketplace experience. Next, I make my private marketplace live, and I do that by updating the experience. And I send in status enabled, and this should effectively make the private marketplace live, and any users who are associated with my private marketplace are now governed and should only be able to subscribe to the list of products added. Further, I explore in the private marketplace user experience. Now I can see the product that I've added within my experience. I can see the account groups, which is the account that I have associated with the private marketplace. And then I can see the experiences that I've created using the API. So the experience is live, and it is associated with one account group. And then I can see the list of accounts that are associated with the experience in the account groups tab as well. In addition to that, the APIs will provide the ability to add and remove products in bulk. Next, I will pass it on to Kevin from Presidio to show us how they are able to use APIs to manage their private marketplace and enable their customers in software procurement.
Thank you, Praveen. Jumping into the AWS or the integration that Presidio has done with some of our customers so far with private marketplace has been mainly around ServiceNow. So what we'll do is at a high level dive into what that flow looks like from a request all the way through to an approval, and then kind of displaying what it would show like, or show on the actual marketplace itself. So diving right in, really what our customers were looking at with private marketplace, it added a ton of value out of the gate because it allowed our customers the ability to pre-approve products, which was a huge step forward for them. Right, almost all of them leverage marketplace today in some way, shape, or form, and the the speed at which it allows them to deploy software is what interests all of the engineering and DevOps teams. And what Private Marketplace introduced to our customers was the ability for their procurement teams to ensure that the software that the engineering teams is consuming is approved, and also that they're getting it at the best cost, via CPPO or SPPO. So once Marketplace came out, and working with Murphy and team and Praveen on the API side of Private Marketplace, the first couple of requests that came to Presidio was, how do we integrate this? How do we leverage this to benefit our business and into our business flow that our users are typically used to leveraging? So we really went to our customers focused on ServiceNow, because a large majority of our customers leverage ServiceNow, and all of them leverage Marketplace. So we worked with a couple of them to build a connector which kind of integrated the two, right? Allowing the end user to request software like they would normally request it today, and allowing the procurement team to ensure that, one, it's approved by all the managers and engineering and so on and so forth, but also procured at the best price possible. So diving into what a customer experience would look like. In this scenario, we have an end user, Sarah, who's decided that Ubuntu 16.4 is the operating system of choice for her most recent needs. So what she's going to do is go into ServiceNow, into her organization ServiceNow deployment, navigate to her service catalog, and actually search within ServiceNow itself for Ubuntu 16.4. And what that's going to do is, on the back end, hit the private marketplace APIs, which Praveen went through in the prior discussion, and allow Sarah to search for, in real time, what's available to her, and see if Ubuntu 16.4 is actually available. So what she's realized in that process flow is that it is, but it hasn't yet been approved by her procurement team or maybe her engineering manager. So what she's going to do is she's going to go ahead and click Request Now within ServiceNow, and that's going to trigger a workflow for an approval process that basically starts with her manager and goes all the way through the procurement team and through the normal request flow within ServiceNow itself. And once approved, Sarah will be notified within ServiceNow, within her actual request, that the piece of software, in this case Ubuntu 16.4, has been approved, and now she has the ability to log into her AWS account and consume that software as you would expect. Diving into what that looks like from a customer perspective. So if you're Sarah in this situation, she would log into ServiceNow, and this is where she would go. Right? She would go to her homepage and search the marketplace within ServiceNow for a specific software. In this case, the example shows Presto, and then on the bottom right-hand side, you'll see at the bottom request catalog or request product, and that will trigger the approval flow. From the request integration standpoint, you can see here in the middle of the page, we have two different examples. One, which is the 16.4 version of Ubuntu, which we went through that user flow. And then we also have one below that for Presto, which has already been approved, to just depict the example of what it would look like from a customer use case. So once a customer, or the end user logs into their ServiceNow, navigates to their open request, they'll be able to see, one, any open requests that might not have been approved yet and are going through the flow, and any prior approvals or requests that have been approved since the last time they've logged in. One of the things that ServiceNow offers for the procurement team and just your normal business flow for a lot of our customers was approval workflows, which is, one, auditable, but also had SLAs tied to them as well. And these are highly customizable. So as you can see here, there's kind of three levels of kind of SLAs, right? So in this case, the very first action was from within the ServiceNow service catalog, which is ultimately the Amazon Private Marketplace, where the request was going to. Sarah had made a request, which went to her manager for approval. Her manager then has 2 days to approve that request. If approved, then it goes to that manager's department head, which also has 2 days. If approved at that point, then it goes through order fulfillment, which has a max time of 4 days from an SLA standpoint, but just really to depict the flow of, these can be down to hours or days or weeks, depending on the the needs of the business, essentially. So, a customer or user can log in, request a piece of software, know exactly how long before they would have the ability to procure it, and these can be tweaked to the specific business need or the action required. From the perspective of what it looks like for the user, once the product that they've requested has been fully approved, when they log into their console now, what they'll see is the software that they've leveraged via ServiceNow integration is now approved for procurement. So if a user was to go and navigate to any one of these products listed here, in this example, if we used Ubuntu as the example, it has already been approved for procurement, so that user can actually leverage that product at will from that point forward because it's already pre-approved. Diving into a demo here. So diving further into kind of the demo or a video representation of the kind of flow that we've gone through in the use case of Sarah, I'll actually show the navigation of ServiceNow, logging in, searching for a product, requesting to leverage that product, and then ultimately the approval side of it and what that would look like. So as the user, the first thing we're going to want to do is log into ServiceNow. Once logged in, we're going to see here that if we navigate over to requests, we only have one request open. So we're going to navigate over to Service Catalog, and we're going to search for Presto, which is a product within the marketplace, as you can see here. And for example, we can search Linux or any other marketplace items that might be available. And then if we focus in on the prior product of Presto, we want to leverage this product, so we go ahead and click Request Catalog, which is going to kick off that approval flow. And as you can see here, we have a new request that has been created for our end user requesting to leverage the software. So if that user logs out, and now we're going to log in as the administrator, so basically the approver side of the equation. And once logged in, this administrator now has the ability to see that request, as you can see here, and the ability to approve that specific product as listed here. Once approved, it'll now show up in that end user's private marketplace for use. They will also get a notification through ServiceNow that the request has been fulfilled. In this case, it was approved, but it also has the ability, if the approver does not approve to leverage the product, that it could also be obviously one of the other options as well. In order to create the integration between the private marketplace, the AWS Private Marketplace, and ServiceNow, as Praveen went through with the newer APIs that are being leveraged, these are the specific APIs that Presidio leverages in order to make this functionality possible. Thank you very much, and Murphy, I'll pass it back to you.
Great, thanks, Kevin. That was really great to see how Presidio is using the APIs to streamline approval. Really interesting, so thank you for showing that. Thank you to everyone that joined today. If you would like to learn more about AWS Marketplace and Private Marketplace, please go to aws.amazon.com/marketplace/private marketplace. On that page, you can enable a private marketplace for your organization, find lots of helpful resources such as other blogs and videos, and learn more about how companies are using Private Marketplace. We hope you learned a lot today about the features that are available and how you can streamline your product approval for your organization, customers, and users. Next, we have Q&A, so we will kick that off. Thank you.